Should I register my company name as a trademark? Now, I have a lot to say about this. I've been in business for well over 2 decades, 2.5, really, all truth being told. So heading on to 30 years. So do you register? I have 3 things to tell you, because a yes and a no, so you really need to pay attention to the nuances of whether you do it or not and spend that kind of money. Number 1 is the importance of having a corporate structure for the trademark. Number 2, choosing the right entity of the structure based on your goals, financials, and the exit plan. And number 3, the pitfalls and the mistakes around trademarking in general, much less with your own company and your company marks. So let's begin. The importance of forming a corporate structure to put your trademarks in. Number 1, you don't want the personal risk. So again, we are not fans. If you've been here on my channel long enough, sole proprietor land is suffering land, provides no protection, no tax advantages. It's just a useless structure, quite frankly. So having, whether it's in America, it's an LLC, an S Corp, C Corp, or a limited partnership, and which one of those companies might own not only the operation, but then the marks, we actually don't put them together. So we have a very different strategy of keeping the assets, the intellectual property, and those marks away from the operation of the company. Now, a lot of you, I know, you're going to run out and try to figure this out on your own on this great place called the bathroom wall of the internet, where everybody writes everything about anything, and they're wrong. So you've got to click on the link below, grab a strategy session to have access to talk to one of our teams about your situation. Your situation matters. And then as I go into the second part of this, which is based on your business goals, you need an entity. I'm going to combine kind of number 1 and number 2 a little bit here, because your exit matters. Like which company, which state you incorporate in, how you want to actually put through certain forecasted expenses, depending on an exit. If you want to sell, if you want to go public, those are different structures than just staying you as a private family entity. So you really have to understand, what are your business goals? What are you going to do? And then whether the mark matters or not. Now, in personal experience, I'll just give you a few stories of, I always had a corporate structure that held all my marks, held all my registrations, my royalties to my books. That company never did business with the public. Right. So it's a very strategic structure held in trust. All that being said, here's what I learned about spending probably, I can't say I spent 7 figures on marks, but I know for sure well into 6. Here's the thing that a lot of people don't tell you. If you don't use your mark, right, and you have it, someone else in a different country, and international gets really tricky, and they have the same mark because they actually can put it in their country. And then there's categories in the mark that you probably have to learn about. So like in my space, do I want my books to just be education, ebooks, digital books, printed books? Do I want to use my books for events? Do I want to use my books for trade shows? I mean, there are so many categories that if you don't grab all the categories, you're not protected in those categories. So it's actually a little more sophisticated than just clicking some boxes on some cheap site on the internet and not getting any help. That's why we exist. Integrated Wealth Systems is here to be the place you call about questions like this, because there's a lot of variables that go into whether you want one or not. So Live Out Loud has been my core company for well over 20 years. I register Live Out Loud into every continent. Live Out Loud North America, Live Out Loud Canada, Live Out Loud South Africa, Live Out Loud Australia, all of them, right? If you don't use it, right, and actually activate the bank accounts and activate the use of the mark and create revenue for the country, whoever has the mark, regardless of whether you got it first and you're the one paying for it, if they've activated it and they're actually using it, they'll win on squatters' rights. And they actually didn't even have to register if they could just start using the mark. And you say, yeah, but I actually paid for the mark. And you could show your, legal registration papers. Doesn't matter. They use the same terms, the same language, and they'll win in the country. And I have one of the best intellectual property attorneys in the world, right? He defended the entire Rich Dad Poor Dad brand. So that became my team. So I spent a lot of money on marks to protect them. And then here's the other thing that happened with Live Out Loud. Oprah started using it as a just phrase, like, hey, people, let's live out loud, right? Kind of fun phrase, but it wasn't a mark. She never got the mark. I have the mark. So what am I going to do? Sue Oprah? Right? So until you have a real strategy around what do you want to do with the marks, and are you willing to then fund and defend, right? Let's go a little further. There's Live Out Loud songs in the country sector, the Christian sector, the rap sector, so whatever music sector. There's 4 to 5 Live Out Loud songs now all over, different music channels and streaming channels. So am I going to sue all those artists? and try to defend my mark. I didn't qualify them in their music category so they can actually use it. So it's a little more complicated than just going to the US trademark, site and go click, 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 click. Now, before I leave the two entity structures and why it's absolutely pivotal, you talk to some experts who have been here, done it. I wouldn't say that it was a mistake to spend the money. I would have been much clearer going in about which categories I wanted to defend and which ones I wouldn't defend. But the other part that I see all the time, I'm going to speak to you women, is your slowness to decide on what's my company name. Well, just because you have a company name doesn't mean that A, it's searchable on the internet and you can put any name. And so I'm of the opinion, call it ABC, XYZ, whatever your kids' initials are, call it whatever you want as the company, because you can DBA the use of the funds. You can also DBA to what you want to use the marks for. So you got to have a corporate structure that's going to own the marks, but just get your companies up and running, live corporate life. If you don't know what I mean by living corporate life, join us at our intensive. I do a Millionaire intensive. It goes from 10 o'clock Pacific to 6. I do it every 3 to 4 weeks. And I want you there learning what we mean by living corporate life. And if you actually looked at my search terms, you could look at living corporate life and there are videos all over the place about it. So that's what we endorse. We teach a lifestyle of intention of living corporate life from 18 years till death and then building generational wealth. So before I tell you some of the big pitfalls, I've mentioned a few, but there's some bigger ones. I want you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I want you to click the notification button so you're here 5 days a week. It's a family-friendly channel, which means your 5-year-olds and up can be here on this channel. And make sure, as we head into the holidays, you grab a learning journal from us. It's our YouTube journal where you can open it up and say, all right, you can do a gap analysis in here. It's all built based on the Millionaire Maker work. And then what day you watch the video, what'd you learn, what are you going to do, and what a great conversation starter to have around the kitchen table. What did you watch today? What did you learn today? You're going to be shocked what your kids pick up versus what you pick up because you already have a big filter around whether you are money motivated or not, or money educated or not. So let's go to the pitfalls to wrap this up. So the biggest one I'm going to repeat is the squatter's rights. If you don't use the marks, whoever uses it first, regardless if they registered it, they will win. And that's an international problem. Let's just speak about international. International laws are very different than United States laws. So in some marks, I know when the cash flow game came out, the biggest mistake that I saw is they sent it to one manufacturing spot and it was ripped off in China before it even got back here to the United States. So when I did my game, I separated the pieces from the game board, from the actual box that it came in, from the dollars and the cards. So I separated it, sent it to lots of manufacturers so no one could actually put the game together and rip it off because they only got a segment of all the pieces. All that stuff is very, very costly to defend. So I think the last question for you is, are you willing to defend your mark? Do you have enough capital? Do you make enough money? The litigation goes on for years. Court cases take years now, and you are guilty until proven innocent. I don't care where you are in the world. Welcome to getting sued. So it's not fun. It's a serious consideration. And for those of you who just live your life paranoid, oh, but somebody's going to steal my idea, would you get over yourself? If I wanted to steal your idea, if Kevin Harrington wanted to, if Mark Cuban wanted to, we would. We would have already done it because we have the teams, the capacity, the capital, and the speed. You don't have any speed, and the worst thing you don't have is knowledge. So I need you reading my books. I need you in the conversation, deeply in the conversation. And if you have any questions at any time, go to askloral.com. Ask questions, make a request. And if there's a topic that you can't find on my search bar or within my playlist, put it in the comment section. Share my channel with lots of people. And let's get you knowledgeable about money. We'll talk tomorrow.